I am not smart. Okay, I would say that I'm relatively intelligent, but I'm definitely no genius. What I learned how to do is to beat the system. If you guys haven't already seen my previous videos that I really hope you've checked out, am an airhead. I'm one heck of an airhead. But here's a little something about me that you probably didn't know. I have never gotten below a B. Now, there are a couple reasons for this. One of them being that my parents would have killed me if I got a C or below. And I was honestly kind of scared of that idea, so I tried making sure that my grades were on tip-top shape. But another reason for this was the fact that I just simply wanted to prove myself that I wasn't as big of an airhead as I thought I was. Here's the thing, I feel like a lot of people don't actually perceive me as someone who's dumb. But I know myself better than anyone knows me, and if there's anything I know about myself, it's that I can be stupid. So, how did I do it? How did I manage to be as, stupid as I am, and still manage to get as good as the grades that I managed to get? Well, buckle up your seatbelts, kids. This is gonna be one heck of a ride. And I hope you're ready taking notes. The first thing that I need you all to be aware of is that taking notes can save your life. I had so many journals growing up through middle school and through high school that are filled with notes upon notes. Some of them are nonsensical, some of them make complete sense, some of them are pretty, and some of them look like a brown, unicorn pasty creature monster thing threw up all over them, and they are now close to non-readable. All of these made sense to me. All of your notes should make sense to you. Make sure that whatever notes you are taking are actually going to be of use to you in the future. And please, for dear goodness, do not try to write down every single thing that your teacher says. You will get confused. Instead, try to listen for keywords and phrases that your teacher says. And make sure that you incorporate those into all of your notes. They will come in handy. Just make sure that you are taking care of all of the main bullet points. And if you're still confused, walk up to the teacher at the end of class. It's not the end of the world if you have to stay an extra 5 minutes and get a late pass for your next class. What do you want to do here? That's right, you want good grades. Now, here's the second thing that I managed to do. I was lucky enough to have 5 very close friends that I spent a lot of time with. So, if there's one thing that I always managed to have, it was a study group. Now, I know that's going to be hard for some of you introverts, or some of you people that just don't like people. Or maybe some of you just have a really intense superiority complex and just don't feel like you want to spend time with anybody. Because maybe all of the people that you know in your mind are super duper stupid. But whatever it is, I'm telling you, you're going to want to be studying with other people. Some of you are going to hate me for saying that. But I'm telling you, it's the way to go. When you have other people sharing all of their information with you, you get other people that are willing to help you out. If you are willing to help somebody out, they're going to scratch your back and do the same. Everyone is pulling information together. Everyone is making sure that no one is being left behind when you're using the right study group. Study groups are also the greatest asset when you are about to take a test. I am telling you, you will not want to pass up on that opportunity. Here's another one of the main things that drove me to make sure I didn't get below a B. It was complete and utter fear of my parents. Now, I know that I'm saying that, but it's not really as bad as it sounds. My parents weren't some crazy set of tyrannical demons. My parents are nowhere near demons. But they sure did know how to motivate me to make sure I was getting my good grades. I don't actually know what the consequences would have been if I got a C or below in any of my classes, but they never exactly told me what the consequence was. So that left it up to my imagination, and I was left realizing that if I didn't actually try in school, I might have something bad happen to me. And that, quite honestly, was probably more terrifying than any other aspect of high school. To say that I was driven by fear is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but my parents were definitely big motivators in my achievement of never getting below a B. Whenever I thought that maybe I should just take the low grade on something, or just turn in something super duper crappy, I would think, what would my parents say? Or even better, what would happen if I ended up with a C in this class? Now, I will say, I did end up with a C in a class one time. But it was in my science class. And for those of you who have been following my videos since Mr. Blockner, that grade was completely warranted. Even my parents understood why I ended up with a C in that class. Yikes. I'm 19 years old, and I still shuddered at the fact that the man used to be my high school science teacher. Now, there are also plenty of other things you need to make sure you're doing if you want good grades. I don't know about some of y'all, but if you're anything like me and freak the heck out anytime you get a test and go completely, what I like to call, blue screen, then you'll want to study. I know, one of the things that many of us despise is studying. But I'm telling you, this is something that must be done. Much like taking notes, you will need to if you just go through the pain of studying if you want to succeed. You know, this is making me laugh a little bit, because I'm nowhere near the resource that any of you would probably want to use in order to pass any of your classes. Honestly, YouTube videos could even do a better version of that. Going into a search bar and looking up study tips would probably give you significantly more help than I do. But if you're here anyway, I appreciate you, and you might as well stay for the rest of this. Because I'm no longer giving you studying tips. I'm just going into a full rant about how I was so stupid as a kid and still managed to pass all of my classes. Honestly, that still hasn't set in yet, even though I'm 19 and I live in France and I currently go to school. Heck, one of my classes in school is in French, and I still managed to get all of my grades to be as decent as possible. If I didn't strive for greatness in all my classes, including that one that is completely in French, I would definitely be getting skewed right now. Because I am, sadly, one of those kids who has a strange superiority complex over themselves. If I realized that I'm not doing the best that I possibly could, I would feel very upset. Honestly, even in my head, I'm going through all of the stupid stuff that I had done. Some of them I've even made videos about. And it makes me wonder, how am I alive? There's just so much in my life that I managed to accomplish and not die, even though it was the stupidest thing ever. Surprising my parents who both grew up city kids who own baseball bats, for instance. Or getting into a backflip competition with someone that actually knew how to do a backflip, and something that I hadn't done since I was like 17 years old. Or how about the fact that, I thought I had one specific moment in my head, but all of them flooded my senses at the same time. But I think you get the idea. I have a very specific set of skills. Those skills require beating the system, because I am a bit lazy when it comes to academics. But I'm not that lazy. As any comedic relief in any comedy, rom-com series, or cartoon series that you have ever watched, I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. Honestly, the first time that I heard that phrase, nothing made more sense in my life.